this.
They'll go to second for one, and now they got the man trapped at third. It's hanging out.
And 2nd and 2, handoff goes to McCaffrey up the middle, finds a little room, lot more room, and he's off to the races.
Welcome to the In the Zone Sports Talk Radio Network. You're listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show with your host, Kate Diggs from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with the large heart, and co-host Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida. Also co-hosting Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. These are your hosts, bringing you the ultimate in sports news for the ultimate sports fan. Be sure to download the Try99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support. Now sit back and prepare to get into another episode of the Just Us Sports Talk Show.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing out there? I hope everybody had a fantastic Christmas. I'm a little bit underneath the weather. I got a little sinus thing going on. So I'm just sipping on some hot tea. Just sipping. That's what I'm doing, just sipping. Like I said, I'm just sipping on some hot tea. So waiting on everybody else to get in the room. Hopefully they'll be here soon. If not, it'll be me riding by myself. I'll be the Lone Ranger tonight. And my voice ain't really prepared for that, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Anything good don't come easy. All right. So, and some news today, some sports news. Look at my notes here. The White Sox in Major League Baseball is signing one of the Japanese pitchers for a 2-year contract for $34 million. So the White Sox said, we're tired of being in purgatory and we're coming out of the basement. And that's a piece that they need, or pieces that they need to get to where they need to get to. And that's outside of the basement. In other news, the Yankees, they looking for a backup to the backup for Cody Bellinger, who might be leaving. And they're looking at Austin Hayes and John Hyman as his backups. If he leaves, the Yankees go somewhere else. Which, the rumors was the Dodgers. Now I think that might have cooled off a little bit. I don't know if he's looking for a great payday because he got money. I think he's trying to get to the World Series again. So I would probably see him going somewhere to maybe to Milwaukee or even to Toronto. Place like that was right there in the mix. You know what I'm saying? They may be one bat away from getting to the World Series. The Red Sox and Alex Bregman is at a standstill right now. Nobody knows what's going on with them dudes. And so Bregman's like, he's out there trying to figure out what he's going to do. And these winter meetings, the winter meetings is going really, really slow. And if you're a baseball fan, I'm going to say this to you. Don't look for anything soon to come or play. Look closer to preseason. I think everybody trying to keep everything close to the chest as far as what they want to do. So just if you're a baseball fan, just do that. I want to say hello to everybody's out there watching me on TikTok and on the Facebook page. Thank you guys for joining in with me. This is our last show for 2025. We'll be back in 2026, but our times will change from 7 to 9 because we do 6 to 8 because of football during the season. So that's where we'll be at. Starting in January, we'll be 7 to 9 and not 6 to 8. So I'll put a post out there to remind people what's going on. Let me take another sip of my tea here. That's some good tea, baby. That's some good tea. So we got 2 people on the line today. We got look like we got Curry and we got Lou. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
Merry Christmas, Kevin. You know, it's good.
Doing good. How about y'all?
All right. The Atlanta Braves right now are silent. When you're silent, that means you're dangerous. Can't find nothing going on with the Atlanta Braves, so that means they up to something. Them, them quiet people, you gotta watch out for. You gotta watch out for them quiet people because behind the scenes they doing something.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing something. I don't know what they're doing just yet, but they could be doing something. So you watch out for them. Los Angeles Dodgers. Max Muncy might be up for trade bait. It gave him his $10 million that was guaranteed to him this year, and in order to maybe move him. I know there has been rumors of him getting traded. They didn't say to where, but again, like I said before, if you're a baseball fan, the winter meetings have been really, really slow. And so I'm pretty sure February timeframe, you'll start hearing a lot of guys signing with other teams, moving around, trading, doing whatever they do, signing whoever they sign, and so we'll get this thing going. That's in baseball news. All right. In the NCAA, our friend Matthew Sandy said that Kyle Whittingham would be the next coach for the Michigan Wolverines, and he was correct on that. There's a clause in his contract though about his age. I couldn't find exactly what they were talking about. But he's like, I think he's 71, if I'm not mistaken. He kind of up in age to be coaching college football, to be perfectly honest with you. But 71 ain't like the old 71 because he's 71. He probably walks 4 or 5 miles a day. He jogs. He's healthy, so he's not a old 71. He's just a new 61, if you want to put it like that. So that's what's going on in college football. You got the playoffs coming up next, coming up here real soon. I still want to hit on, if you guys would bear with me, I still want to hit on this Notre Dame situation where Notre Dame signed a contract with the NCAA that if they get 10 wins, they automatically get a bid in the playoffs. So I'm trying to figure this out. So if other teams go and do the same thing, right? How does that make it fair for everybody else? So I want to know, what is the NCAA, better known as College Mafia? What are they getting out this deal? They got to be getting something out this deal. They're just not gonna sit by and allow this to happen. Say, okay, yeah, sure, you can go ahead and do that. We got you, no problem. It got to be something to it. I'm telling you that right now. It got to be something to it. And I'm just saying, beware of buyers, because if you look at the schedule is trash for real. I was gonna be a Notre Dame fan, but after I saw that article, I kind of swayed away from them. I'm not happy with that situation. I like their coach, who's probably going to get a new contract because his name has been mentioned several teams in the NFL. So what they're going to do is give him some money to stay, like they do everybody else. I don't know how much they're going to give him, but it's going to be a nice paycheck. You know what I'm saying? He did his job. And the thing about it, if you guys remember, he became the coach off the credit of the players. Not Notre Dame didn't want him for real as the next head coach, but the players wanted him. And so the players have stepped up and did their job. As far as them being winners with him being their head coach. So you can't get mad about that at all. And so we'll see where this goes with this right here. All right. That's pretty much what's going on in college. You got all these bowl games.
Well, hey, Kevin.
Go ahead, Curry.
Yeah, if you look at Notre Dame, saying they get 10 wins, I don't see anything wrong with that. And the reason I say that is because they had 10 wins this year versus 2 losses. But, a lot of people feel like they should have got in. Alabama got in with 3 losses. So why shouldn't Notre Dame get in with 10-2 record? Because they're not going to play in a bowl game. They're not going to play in a conference championship game anyway. So that's no chance of them losing another game if they get the 10 wins.
Did you see the schedule?
Yeah, but I'm just saying if they get 10 wins, hey, again, you can't really didn't think about the schedule because they all got weak schedules to some point. Nobody really plays a top 10 opponent every week.
This schedule is Navy, Army, Air Force, Marines, Little House on the Prairie, Budweiser University, and Coors Light Coors Light University. That schedule is trash. They only team they have on that schedule that could probably get them a run is Miami, right? So they could actually go undefeated, right? And so I think then that's where I think where we got to look at the strength of schedule. I don't like what Notre Dame did because that gives why should Notre Dame be any different from anybody else, right? So Notre Dame's looking at it from this point of view. James Madison and who else got in? James Madison and Tulane got in because they won the divisions, right? The competition is not as stiff for them as it is in other conferences, but the record is what the record is. Now, did they show up and show out in the bowl games? No, they didn't. So that's why I think Notre Dame did what they did. But again, my question is, I need somebody to help me figure this out. Somebody call in 512-543-4662. Go look this up. Find out what Notre Dame gave the NCAA to sign a contract to say if they get 10 wins, they're in. Because if that's the case, then I'm gonna be I'm do the same thing as every other team does. Here's some money to get me in at 10. And the thing about it is, and Curry, this is what makes it bad. Because if you look at it, next year it's supposed to be 16 teams. If Notre Dame's 10-2, they get in next year. If with the record they got this year, they get in. I respected them for.
It's too much stuff.
I respected Notre Dame for playing the teams they played early part of the season. They was 0-2. I respect them for that. I said, this is what I want to see. You know, I want to see the teams from the South come up north. I want to see the teams from the North go down south, and let the best teams play during the season, and I actually truly want to get away from. I want to get away from the conference championship. Make everybody all in one league. As simple as that. You play every other team. You play a team every other year. It's simple as that, and make it that easier because again, Alabama got smashed by Georgia, right? And that's why I'm saying, that's why I felt like they should have got in with 3 losses. But Alabama must have knew something because they didn't play the second half like they wanted to win that game. You know, so now we're gonna see what's up with Alabama this week coming up. This week coming up, we're gonna find out how good Alabama really is. Because again, I think the NCAA is they're dangling carrots out there for certain teams to do certain things, and I don't like it because it's not fair to everybody else. Now, Curry,
No.
The Alabama is a selection committee favorite because if you look back a couple of years ago when
what's up, Darnell? How you doing, buddy?
Record,
call the show.
Just because they lost their quarterback, they're gonna say, "Well, we're not gonna put you in the playoffs." Instead, they put Alabama in there. So that's why I say the Alabama's a selection committee favorite.
Right, and again, last year I disagree with that because that's not how it should have been done. It's too much favoritism in NCAA football right now. If you're undefeated, like Indiana, and they beat Ohio State, who to me is the best team in in college football right now, Indiana beat them, so I got to give Indiana credit for beating them, right? Because Indiana went from Randall L as a quarterback to now Fernando, whatever his name is, as a Heisman Trophy winner. So they have definitely improved from where they were to where they are now. Will they be a one-year wonder? We don't know. But more likely they probably will be, right? And there's nothing wrong if you strike lightning in the bottom one time, but you got to be consistent. And that's the thing about Alabama. Alabama is consistent. There are 2 to 3 wins every year, so they're gonna get in. So even next year with 16 teams get in, but I think it's a little watered down. I think that it still needs to stay at 12 because that puts pressure on teams to want to win real games, want to win games. And if you're playing a cupcake, you got to run the score up because at the end of the day, they're gonna look at your wins and losses, and they're gonna look at your strength of schedule, right? And again, if you're and the thing about it is, if you look at it, you still gonna have some teams that's 10-2 that didn't get in. In the top 16, you might have one team with 3 losses get in because they know they got a like Alabama. They know they got a following. Wherever they go, the fans gonna follow them. You know, Ohio State, wherever they go, fans gonna follow them. Indiana's not. Indiana's just been. They just got good, so they're not. They don't have the fan base that everybody else has. So them playing in Rose Bowl, I want to see um how many fans how many fans there are out there um Indiana compared to the team they're playing, right? And so that right there, that's the part that kind of gets me. And if we're looking at Indiana plays Alabama in the Rose Bowl. So we pretty much know that for every one Indiana fan, there's 4 Alabama fans. So Alabama's gonna take that stadium over, and that's gonna be like a home game for Alabama. Now I want Indiana to pull it out because I'm a Big Ten guy. I like the Big Ten, but I want to see Indiana upset Alabama because they don't belong there anyway. You know what I'm saying? I that's just
No, we don't.
that's just my thoughts. Everybody else has other reasons why they want them in and don't want them in. So it is what it is. Again, guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to call into the show, the number is 512-543-4662. We're here from 6 to 8 tonight, or maybe a little bit later on, depending on what the crowd we get. So we so that's the thing with college football is they're gonna add another 4 teams to the playoffs, was gonna water it down again, I think, in my personal opinion. 8 wasn't enough. 12 is the right number, ladies and gentlemen. 12 is the right number.
Exactly.
And if
16 might get watered down, but might get watered down games.
exactly, and I think that if you Curry, let me ask you this question: if you break it down, if you do from the Mississippi over to the Atlantic Ocean, that's one division. In the Midwest, you got from Mississippi to, let's say, Kansas, maybe Wyoming, maybe no, can't. Let's say Kansas, and then you go from Kansas to maybe Kansas to maybe Wyoming, split Texas in half, and then you have a Western Conference team from Wyoming, Texas, all the way over to California. Why can't we just do that and be done with it? And let the best team win, because apparently that's what it's getting me get to. Because even with the Pac-10 being disbanded, there are rumors that other conferences might get disbanded too because they can't. The money's not coming into them. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to do something about that. You look at like Boise State, which is in the ain't Boise State in the ACC or something like that, I believe. So every time they play a game, they got fly across the country. And then you look at UCLA, Washington, USC. Every time they got to come east. I mean, every time they play a game on the East Coast, they got fly to the East Coast. So that cuts down on travel. It saves money travel wise. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you don't have to travel so far. But then you're playing more local teams than you are playing teams across the country, unless you want to put them on your schedule. And again, I'm all down for putting other teams on the schedule. For me, that's just my personal opinion, right? So let's move on. It's 6:20, and is that Razoo we got on the line?
Coach Gray.
Coach Gray, what's going on, brother? What's going on?
Hey, listen, just want to let you know I've been extremely busy, but a lot of things have calmed down. And I wanted to call in the show many weeks ago, and I just didn't have the time. I have the time tonight, so
Okay.
I got to get you guys out, man.
Okay, but welcome. So
Thank you.
so we're on NFL football, and I'm a little disappointed that my man Mo from Gotta Be More Baltimore is not on the show tonight. I got dressed up in Browns
okay.
gear. I got my medallion on. I got the hat on. I got my Chubb jersey on. I got my sipping my tea out of my Browns mug. That's some
He
good.
must be a Pittsburgh fan.
Yeah, that must be some good tea. That's some good tea right there. Yeah, because you know what, he has harassed me all season long. And you know what, Coach Gray, Lou, and Curry, I went to Santa Claus. I said, Santa Claus, only thing I want for Christmas is the Cleveland Brown victory against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And that's what I got.
You got it.
And that's what I got. Now all this other malarkey about the game was fixed and all this stuff. I'm gonna say this: if was a fifth, we all be drunk, right? So there's like, well, if Metcalf would have played, okay, Metcalf is only one player, right? And he's good in the red zone. He's definitely excellent in the red zone. But you got to get to the red zone to score in the red zone. It's an unfortunate accident. What Metcalf did, he has to sit out 2 games. But I'm gonna say this though, I don't think Pittsburgh's gonna beat Baltimore. Mr. Hunt looks really good. He looks really good.
Yeah.
And Henry, woof.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah, what Metcalf did was no accident. He knew better than to do something like that.
My thing is, how do you bait a fan into making you do something like that? That's the only thing that don't. I mean, and Metcalf's not no spring chicken either. He's been in the league 10, 12 years maybe, so he knows the ins and outs of how this game's supposed to be played. Even though
it's behavior. It's behavior.
Even though he had brought it to the NFL's attention up in Seattle last year, I don't think the dude had blue hair last year in Seattle, but he had blue hair. He had blue hair. I mean, in Detroit. I don't think he had blue hair in Detroit, but definitely had blue hair in Detroit this last time, right? So I'm like, why? Guys, this is my whole thing. God gives you a talent, an undeniable talent to play in professional sports, where you can take care of your family. Get generational money if you do it right, and not mess over it. Where you got 10 generations of family living, and they still living off your residual income. Yo, I just don't understand how these young guys allow certain things to happen. And
well, you gotta remember.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Coach Gray.
There's boundaries in the sport, right? You have the fans, you have the field, you have a wall that separates those things. It's like the police officer that in Texas and college that hit that young man in the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that you don't cross. That's why they're set up so we can enjoy this game. All right, it's just behavior. If that guy was such a nuisance, you should have called one of those security people and said, "Have this guy removed," and they would remove him.
Exactly.
They know that.
Exactly. Because they said that he had an issue with this guy before, and they didn't do anything about it. They didn't do anything about it last year, and then again, it came up again this year, where they still didn't do anything about it. So I don't know if that was a setup or a hookup or what. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know. But again, he caused them not to win the division, to not be in the playoffs. And I'm gonna say this: I love Tomlin. I think he's a coach. He's the coach's man. And he's not going to get fired for what he did. He's not going to get fired for this team right here. But he needs to be held accountable because he went out and got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers said, "Go get Metcalf." We ain't got Metcalf. Then they said, go get Jalen Ramsey. So they were all in this year. And so if they're all in and they're not going to win, where do they go next year? Now I'm hearing rumors of Kyler Murray. I hear rumors of the quarterback from Green Bay, the backup quarterback from Green Bay. I'm hearing Matt Jones' name. I'm hearing all these names going to Pittsburgh, right? And I don't know if it's going to work in Pittsburgh because I don't think the offense is similar in any shape, form, or fashion. So why don't Pittsburgh just go out and draft a quarterback and run with him? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I think that Kyler Murray got a better chance. He got a better chance of being the quarterback next year than anybody else. But then, what has Kyler Murray done that warrants to be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I don't know if he can handle that discipline that Tomlin hands out. But look like we got Rich on the line. Rich, what's going on, brother?
What's the deal?
All right. I was hoping you would come on, man, so you could see my gear, man. I got dressed up for you, and I got dressed for you and Bo, and y'all calling in the show again, man. I'm a little disappointed, man. Y'all guys hurt my feelings, man. You hurt my feelings. Y'all really hurt my feelings, man.
My bad.
That's okay. That's all right. But anyways, let's go around the horn. Let's start with Kerry and the Miami Dolphins, man. They're playing like they're trying to keep Daniels around, right? I know you said they got rid of GM. They've never did the GM and the head coach in 1 year before, but things happen. But right now, what's your thoughts on McDaniel staying? I mean, we talked about it before, but what's your take right now? Because they're playing in some aspiring football, which makes their draft pick move up and down the board. So what's your thoughts on the Dolphins?
Well, I don't think the players are playing for the coach. I think they're playing more for their pride and the fact that, hey, you don't want to be slack when you're going into a new season or you finish up in the season, because you could put some stuff out there on film that somebody else might say, hey, this guy's playing kind of tough. I'm like, if he plays this good on a weak team, how would he do on our team? And our team is much stronger. But, that's just my opinion, that they're playing for their pride. I don't think they're playing so much for McDaniel. And as far as McDaniel goes, if I had anything to do with it, he would have been gone long before now. But unfortunately, that's not my decision. But, I mean, let me give you a scenario. Let me give you a situation here.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Flores, last 2 seasons in Miami, he had back-to-back winning seasons, and you fired him. Why would you not fire McDaniel and he's got back-to-back losing seasons?
Well, but let me ask you a question though. Didn't the owner offer him $100,000 to lose the rest of the games, and he said no, that's not in my DNA?
That's a hearsay. He could have, and it's a good possibility that he did. But if he's that's, I shouldn't say stupid. I don't like to use that word to nobody. But if somebody offers me $100,000 to lose, I ain't got to do nothing. You just say $100,000. That's $1,600,000 that you're gonna give me what's called an incentive bonus. yeah, you know what, man? I'm all in, man.
Okay.
I'm all in. Yeah.
But
all he had to do was play Josh Rosen. If he played Josh Rosen, that should have put the tank right in motion, and we'd be sitting there with Joe Burrow right now.
You're right about that. Coach Gray, Dallas Cowboy fan. What's your thoughts going into next season with the Cowboys? They always look so good, but not good enough.
Right. It's about really finishing what you start, right? I mean, the Cowboys for years and years, it's the only team that's expected to go to the Super Bowl and never make it. I think it's an eternal issue for the last 30 years. If you don't go this stretch and not have issues internal, right? Because the player is not the coach. It's something about those players. You have the really good players who are not playing as a cohesive to win the big game. Why? There's something going on there. And I don't know what to say about the Cowboys, other than the fact that I just think they need to have a owner to shut his mouth and let other people run that program for the last 30 years. I haven't changed my opinion for the last 30 years.
Are you okay?
It's the data. Take a look at the data, the receipts. It tells you something.
Okay.
It doesn't lie.
Are you okay with
the last caller said about the Miami Dolphins? You have a coach that had 2 winning seasons. Why did you get rid of him? That's what we're asking. There's got to be something internal with the Dolphins and the Cowboys to have this nonsense going consistently.
Okay.
Right? Well, talking to some of the former players, as much as I do, they tell me some things like it's not about our talent. Half the time, it's about who the ownership likes. Maybe they like the Reds. Maybe they like these coaches that they put at the helm. It's a business at the end of the day. It's who they can work with.
So
I don't know.
Are you okay with Schottenheimer staying after this year?
I'm okay based off of what I saw this year. He's been leave because I think the players were playing for him as a coach. It has a lot to do with whether you are coachable from a coaching standpoint and have players that will buy into the system. I don't think they did poorly. The defense just wasn't that good. You can't win in the National Football League with a bad defense. It just doesn't happen. The Ravens tell you that they can score 40 points and lose by a point because the defenses gave up 41. That's a defensive thing. That's personnel. At the end of the day, that's personnel.
Okay. All right. Lou,
I don't think the coach is
New York Jets, man. Did Vrabel take that personal yesterday or what? Because he scored 33 and 35 points at halftime. Did he take that personal?
One year, I mean, that was over from the word go. I mean, the Jets had no chance. The Patriots, they missed me off. I mean, I kind of figured that. I kind of figured that was going to be that kind of a game, and I was right. And basically, the Jets defense cannot match up with the Patriots at all, especially Patriots. And not Buffalo either. I mean, that game had lost all over it, right from the word go. I wasn't surprised at all.
Okay. Rich. Yesterday, incredible game with Chicago. One of the most entertaining games I've ever seen, other than when the Rams played Kansas City and the score was 55-50 or something like that. One of the most entertaining games I saw, but I didn't see no defense being played. No defense whatsoever. And I know this is what the fans want, but at the end of the day, defense won the game for the 49ers. What's your take? I know you high on the 49ers right now. What's your take on the 49ers going forward with this game against Seattle? Because right now, if you win, you won the division. Seattle is number 5, and the Rams.
Come back to me.
Come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta put this order in.
Okay. All right. So, as a Browns fan, our season's over with, but we beat Pittsburgh, and I'm happy. I am so happy because Mo ain't showed up for a minute when it comes to these Pittsburgh Steelers. And I don't know if you guys watched the game, but Myles Garrett made a comment. He said they was too worried about me. He said, and that's why the offense was off. Mike Thomas said we didn't do nothing different than we did before, than we did when we played them the first time. And I have to disagree. I watched the whole game. If Myles Garrett got close to Rodgers, he threw that ball away. He was not getting. He got sacked one time, but he got hurried a few times. but he was not going to allow Myles Garrett to tackle him, right? So that right there, he got in his head mentally when the game started, because the Browns had a turnover and their defense stepped up. And I'm gonna say this: I don't know if Stefanski's going to be the coach next year or not.
He shouldn't.
I think that the defensive coordinator definitely needs to stay there. But I'm gonna say this though: the names I'm hearing are defensive coordinators. I'm hearing the defensive coordinator for the 49ers name has been popped up as the next candidate for the Browns head coaching job. So if he's a head coach, why you gonna keep your defensive coordinator there? But the defense ain't the problem; it's the offense. Every draft I look at, they're going after a wide receiver because they need a wide receiver. Jerry Jeudy played his best game yesterday. He played like him and Shador was the best of friends. And I know there's rumors they don't get along on and off the field. That he was banking on Gabriel being the quarterback. I don't know if I can sit here and say honestly that Shador is the quarterback of the future for the Browns. I can't say that right now. Beating Pittsburgh does help a little bit, but he made some bone plays. When he threw the interception across the field, he should just threw the ball away. You know, if you want now, the weather has something to do with the ball, how the ball was coming out, and things of that nature. But at the same token, if you want to be the number one quarterback, you gotta think like a number one quarterback. You gotta make decisions like a number one quarterback. And he didn't do that. Pittsburgh's defense was okay. They played. They stuck it to him. For the whole second half, one thing we did is kick the field goal, but we kept them at 6 points the whole game, and they missed the field goal. But again, if I'm the Browns, and I have two number one draft picks in this draft coming up, and I'm looking at my offense, I'm looking at my offensive line, I'm looking at my wide receiver. If I can't find a starter at a wide receiver and an offensive tackle to come and help Shador or whoever the quarterback is, I'm flipping those trades. I mean, I'm flipping those picks to get more picks because the more picks you get, the more choices you have to make on how you can develop your team. So I know there are like 5 or 6 or whatever the case may be, and they have a pick from the Jacksonville Jaguars that's like high 20s, whatever the case may be. So again, if they feel like they can get draft picks in the second and third round that can contribute and be a winning team, then so be it. If you're not confident in, and the wide receiver from Ohio State, Tate, is the one that they're saying. If that's the wide receiver you want, you gotta go get him. He's one of a kind. Wide receivers come out of Ohio State and they play well. Look at my man in Arizona, Fitzgerald, or whatever his name is. He's a good wide receiver. He stepped up and became a very good wide receiver for Arizona. He had some bumps and bruises there, but that comes with the game. So if you're looking at that guy, I'm saying, okay, cool. And the next thing I'm looking at is drafting some offensive linemen. I think the Browns have like 11 picks. So I'm getting them some picks. I'm getting them some picks this year, next year to go ahead out there and get me 1 or 2 offensive linemen in the first round or maybe the early second round that can help this team out, because the offensive line they have not had a starting offensive line together since this year started. And some guys are getting long in the tooth. They need to move on, get some refresh players in there that's young, that's vibrant, and want to, not saying that the guys they got now don't want to play football, but get somebody in there that's willing to go to bat for Shador and want to win games. As for the Rams, the best case scenario we can have is that they win out, Seattle wins the division, and the 49ers go to the 6th seed. Right now at 6th seed, they're going to end up playing the Panthers or the Eagles, I think, if the playoffs were to start right now. And they lost to both teams. If I look back at the Rams schedule, the Eagles game they blew that too. They missed a block punt, a block field goal for a touchdown. They was in it to win it. Every game that they lost, they inflicted on themselves. The game that they should have lost should have been that game against the Colts. If the wide receiver doesn't drop the ball before he gets in the end zone, that's a whole different game. So I'm just saying that I think the Rams are in a good situation. Defense travels. So we'll see we'll see how this thing turns out in the next 2 weeks. But I'm telling you right now, this has probably been one of the best seasons ever when it comes to NFL football. Coming down to the last week of football, we got some games that really means a lot. Rich, are you ready to go? Okay, I guess Rich still good.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So talk to me about the 49ers, man.
Yeah, there was no defense being played last night. I mean, I didn't expect it. Neither one of us have a pass rush. We depend on our stronger secondary than we do our front seven, and I mean, as you can see, that didn't work out well because there was just no hurry to get rid of the ball. But all in all, we won the shootout.
Exactly.
So that's all I wanted.
Okay. How do you feel comfortable? How comfortable do you feel? Is that game in Seattle? Or is that game in San Francisco against Seattle?
It's in San Francisco.
Okay. So that should be another shootout, maybe.
I feel.
Go ahead.
I feel comfortable. Like I don't feel like. I think that Chicago. Hang on.
Say that again.
All right, Chicago's offense is much better than Seattle's offense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm feeling pretty confident we can beat them. Plus, we're familiar; they're familiar. So it's going to be just a divisional smash mouth game. We're probably going to play a little bit better defense against them because we see them twice a year.
Right.
So I'm thinking we're going to get the win.
Okay.
But how we get it, it could turn out to be an ugly, dumb call by a referee. Like it could be controversial, at the end of it, because that's just the way this is turning out.
Yeah, my thing is let the players play, let the players win, lose the game. Not again, I don't know about nobody else, but I'm gonna stick to my guns. When it comes to pass interference, it should be 15 yards. It shouldn't be a spot of foul. Because Aaron Rodgers is known for throwing that ball behind a person, and they trying to go get the ball, and the defender's trying to defend him from catching the ball and not looking back behind him. I get all of that, but again, that's just what Aaron Rodgers does. He does it well. But my personal opinion, it should be a 15-yard penalty because it just is. And I think the reason why it should be a 15-yard penalty because unless it can become a questionable, unless you can throw the flag on it, then it should be a spot foul. It should be 15 yards to keep it moving. Because again, I think next year that's probably going to be a call that's going to be they'll probably be able to throw a flag on, and they're going to have to go back and look at it and review it again for pass interference.
I was going to say, well, they're reviewable next year.
Yeah, and if you think so, let me ask you guys a question: if a defender puts his hands on the wide receiver's hip, on the outside of his hip, like say your left hand's on his hip, but he's not touching his hands or his arms, would you guys consider that a pass interference?
It just depends. Yeah. Well, what I like if he
Go ahead, Rich.
Go ahead, Coach. All right. Well, it just depends if the DB is like pulling on his hip, that's one thing. But if his hand is just there, he just has a place to keep him kind of close.
Yeah.
Then I don't see a problem with that.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. Because I'm
I agree with that.
Cause I'm starting to see a lot of that now, and they're not really calling it like I think when you grab the guy's shirt, that's to me, that's a pass interference. I mean, not pass interference, it's a holding call, and sometimes they turn into a pass interference. And I think that anytime you grab them, that should be a holding call. Now, if the ball's in the air, it becomes a pass interference. That's what I'm saying. I think that should be a 15-yard. That should be a 15-yard penalty, not a spot foul. So, Coach Gray, you gonna say something?
Yeah, so you gotta remember, we football is a contact sport, so you're gonna have contact, right? That is when the contact is pushing the person over the cliff, right? Where if I'm running a route and I change that person's complete route running, then that's a foul. But contact is going to happen. If you impede that person from going straight, then the rules are if that ball's in the air and he's standing in his way and he can't go, that's a foul. That's a penalty. But you're going to get that contact whether the ball in the air or not, because it's the interpretation of did he have an opportunity to make a play on that ball or catch that ball. That's where that's. I mean, in a contact sport, you know how much holding goes on in the trenches from tackle to tackle every play. Why? So you can't call that.
So let me,
because if you did, you wouldn't have football.
So let me ask you guys a question. Since he brought since he brought that up,
the call.
If a play if the run is to the right side of the field and the right tackle holds the guy, I mean the left tackle holds a guy that has no chance of making the play, should that be a holding call? Because he doesn't.
They let that go.
Okay. They should let it go. You know what I'm saying? They should let that go. But again, I think sometimes you look at some of the holding calls, you like, man, where's the hold at? You know, and the thing about it is you get more analysts that have played the game more so than anybody else that questions the calls that's being made on the field now. And also you guys notice that this has been a lot of pass interferences on offense this year more than it's ever been before. And so that's an uptick as well. You know, so again,
well, you know who the highest paid, the highest paid sports analyst is now in the game?
It's probably Tom Brady.
Tony Romo?
No, it's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Oh yeah.
Now, I mean, think about it. He doesn't have years of experience in calling the game. Why is he the highest paid?
Yeah, see,
because he's the most experienced on the field.
But again, it shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter at all.
It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
Right.
But he does. Right. But he does make some calls that that you look at and you be like, wow.
But Tony Romo is the best.
I love Tony Romo. I love Tony Romo because Tony Romo, he tells you what plays coming. This is the formation you need to be in and things of that nature. I love listening to Tony Romo. Tom Brady sometimes gets on his high horse and says some things that I'm like, yo, really? You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, okay, whatever the case may be. So again, you're seeing a lot of calls being made. So with this week 17 coming up, right? And I'm trying to find where we at?
18, right?
Where we at?
18.
Where we at?
This is week 18. This is last week, right?
This is last week? No, this is week 6.
Yeah, this is week 18.
This is week 18 with the bye week. So yeah. So let me ask you guys a question about what the Carolina Panthers did yesterday. Carolina Panthers went into a V form, down by 10, with over a minute something left to go in the game.
Okay.
They're saying the reason why they didn't want to play because they didn't want to get nobody hurt. because they think their chances of beating Buccaneers are better than trying to win that game yesterday. I don't like that.
What was the time?
They felt that they have a better chance of beating the Buccaneers this week coming up than try to come back on Seattle. It was 27-10 with over a minute something left to go, and they went into V-shaped formation. They even gave them the ball on their 10-11 yard line, and of course Seattle kneels down. The game's over with. But I never heard of that. I've never seen a team do that that's down before. And I'm gonna say this:
Right.
the reason why I don't agree with that, because my thing is, like, you're at the end of the season, you got 2 more games left, and you got guys that's trying to get bonuses. What if that game costs somebody for not getting a bonus by you not even throwing him the ball, him catching it, running for 10, 15 yards, he gets 1,000 yards. Now he gets a bonus of what $500,000, and maybe maybe something happens to him in the next 2 games that he doesn't get it, or he gets short because of that game right there. I don't agree with that. I don't like what they did. It just didn't feel I didn't like that. That just didn't make me feel good. And the NFL should not allow that to happen. If you don't want your starters to get hurt, you take them out and you put in the bench warmers and let them take the 1 minute and something seconds left to go in the game. That did to me, that didn't look right.
I agree with that. That's the norm. You put in your third string, you put the other folks in, and you finish out that way.
Yeah.
With the first string.
That's like more of an unwritten rule there. You know?
Did anybody see that? Because that really bothered me yesterday.
Yeah, I watched the game. I saw exactly what you said.
Yeah, that really bothered me because I didn't like that at all. You down by 10 points with a minute something left, and I can't remember if they had their timeouts or not, but it don't really matter because you never know what the next play is going to happen. And as a fan, now say they go to now I'm gonna say this. Tampa Bay's pissed off because Miami went there and embarrassed them. Tampa Bay is pissed off because Miami embarrassed them this weekend. So what Carolina did is going to backfire on them. I'm telling you right now.
Well, Tampa Bay should be pissed off for the last 8 weeks. If you're gonna look at it at one game, they've blown a lot of games that they could have won. They could have had this thing wrapped up if they just won 2 more games. But back to what you was talking about, them doing that kneel down or the victory formation that they was not going to win. I understand that they knew that they weren't going to come back. They was down 27-10. They knew they weren't coming back. But I've never, like you said, I've never seen that happen before ever, where a team would kneel down. Now, I've seen them do it at a halftime, but it wouldn't be that much time.
Exactly.
But even still, most time you see them, even when they know they don't have a chance to win, they running the ball, throwing the ball, just trying to pick up stats more than anything else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, I thought that was a head scratcher too, Kevin.
Yeah, that didn't make sense to me at all. Next up, guys. Now, what I did, I went out and printed the 2026 schedule for every team. For all the teams that we talk about in our group here. So we're gonna talk about that as well. But right now, the Jets, the Browns, the Titans, the Raiders, the Giants, the Lions, the Saints, and the Cardinals are all in last place. Detroit Lions has the window closed for the Detroit Lions. Anybody? Is that a head scratcher?
The window hasn't closed for them.
So what do you think is
They still have.
What do you think is the issue with them?
Coaching.
So do you think it should be on the hot seat?
No, I think that they just need more at their coordinator position.
Okay. So basically you're saying is Are you talking about coaching on offense or defense?
Probably both. They lost both their coordinators.
Okay. So only reason I'm asking, I mean, because when you like you look at like Detroit lost both of their offensive defensive coordinators. Philadelphia did the same thing and came back and won a Super Bowl. So I don't know if that's the issue for the Detroit Lions. I think back.
Yeah, but hang on one sec. Philadelphia, when they got a defense coordinator, they upgraded their defensive coordinator when they went out there and got Vic Fangio. They got the best in the business.
Right, but I mean they made the adjustments that need to be made. So my question is with I think with
Detroit didn't do that.
I think the problem with Detroit is Detroit doesn't have the best 53-man roster. I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem. I think from the starters on offense and defense, special teams, they on point. When you gotta rely on the bench, then I think there's a huge drop off. So that's where I think they need to make up. They need to make that up in the off season. So out of all those teams, which team do you think can go from worst to first? I'm gonna go over them again. You have the New York Jets, the Cleveland Browns, Tennessee Titans, Las Vegas Raiders, New York Giants, Detroit Lions, New Orleans Saints, and Arizona Cardinals.
I would say the Giants, based off of what I've seen their energy right now.
Okay.
I think with the right combinations, they can do some work. They can make some damage.
Okay, so you're saying the Giants. Anybody else got a comment on that?
I'm going to say the Lions. They just had a bad year. That's what goes back.
Who's that? Would you say, Lou?
I said the Lions, I think, can go from worse to first. They hung in there until I just recently last week, and I think that I can bounce back from this.
Okay, so this is what the schedule looks like next year. All right. So Detroit. Oh, these are away games at Atlanta, at Buffalo, at Chicago, which that's in the division. They play Chicago. Well, at Chicago. They have the Saints, Tampa Bay, New England, the Jets, the AFC East. So they're in last place. So they play. Wait a minute. NFC East. So they play the Giants right now. So that would be because they're both in last place. Then they have Green Bay. They go to Miami, Minnesota. They play the AFC South. AFC South would be Tennessee Titans. So with that schedule there, I think they have a good chance of as coming from last to first if the chip falls like it may. The big thing is that Buffalo game. When is that being played? Look at the schedule here. That's in Green Bay and Chicago, the only two teams that and the Titans they play where weather might be a factor. So the schedule is kind of in their favor, guys, for them to come from worst to first. But again, we saying that the issue they having right now is with coaching. So hopefully they'll go out and get the coaches that they need. Now I'm gonna say this: the head coach took over the offense, right? And I think sometimes when you do that, you have nobody to tell you no, don't run that play. Think about that play. If you have an offensive coordinator and y'all collab together, and the offensive coordinator's like, nah, don't run. We can't run this play. Don't run this play. Now you got some thought to it because right now as a head coach, you're calling the plays, and nobody's telling you no, don't do this because this is what you want to do. There's no second voice in your head saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't run this play. You know what I'm saying? So
spot on, sir.
So my thing is, I think everybody needs an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and I think you need a quarterback coach. I think quarterback coaches are so valuable to these quarterbacks in the NFL. And you look at all the retreads that we have right now that's doing well. Sam Darnold, who I kept telling everybody, I said, yo, Sam Darnold can play in the NFL. He just was with the wrong team with the Jets. And when he went to San Francisco, something clicked on him. Something clicked. And he went out there and started balling for Minnesota, right? Played against the Rams. He didn't look good. Went to Seattle. Seattle paid him a lot of money to go there. And he's came through. Now the only issue with Sam Darnold is, can he win a playoff game? That's the biggest issue, is can he win a playoff game? You look at Baker Mayfield. He's come out and played really well. Look at Daniel Jones. If he doesn't get hurt, we don't know what could have happened for the Indianapolis Colts. So that I think these retreads are doing well. And right now, if we're looking at quarterback teams that need quarterbacks. I didn't watch none of the Miami game, but Kerry, tell me how the backup looked yesterday for them. Should he go into the next year? Should it be open? Should it be an open spot for him to be the starter next year?
I don't want to see him at this point being the opening day starter in 2026. Because I haven't seen enough from him to say. Because just think about this. This guy was on your. If it wasn't for Tua's history of having so many injuries, he would have been on the practice squad. He wouldn't even been on the 53-man roster. But you had to carry 3 quarterbacks because of Tua's history of his injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you put a practice squad guy in, and you jumped him over your backup quarterback and put him in there as your starter, you benched your starter. And he's played against 2 teams where both of them have a losing record. So I haven't seen enough to say yes that he's that guy. I want to see them go out there and get somebody that if they can't get a top 3 quarterback out of the draft, then man, I would hope they could definitely go after somebody like a Lamar Jackson or somebody like that. Because I don't think he's going to be in. I don't think he's going to be in Baltimore next year.
Yeah, because I'm hearing some things. So, Coach Greg, you down that way? I'm hearing some things about Lamar. Now, the article I read was Lamar said the team wasn't focused enough, so they got all the gaming consoles, whatever, consoles out of the facility so they can focus on football. But then I'm hearing that him and Harbaugh don't have the best relationship right now either. So you're down that way. Tell me what's going on with Lamar Jackson and Harbaugh.
Well, I'm not sure the rule with those 2 in their relationship. However, from what we're seeing is, the guys are not on the field enough. They're hurt. They're injured. Confidence, focus starts when everybody's on the field and doing their job. When you don't get reps, backup quarterbacks, you're going to have a different cadence. You're going to have a different rhythm. It's just not enough cohesive play in practice to go on that field and compete. That's what I'm hearing. I hear that on Sports Talk Radio. The comments from fans, but the data's there. They're injured.
Okay.
I mean, when they were healthy, we didn't have this discussion, right? Not everybody.
Let me ask Coach Gray. You like see if you've been up there. Have you heard anything about that? I didn't hear all your answers, so I apologize if you already said it. Have you been hearing anything about Lamar Jackson staying up late playing video games and falling asleep in meetings?
No, I haven't heard anything like that.
Okay, see, there's some guys got this out there, and see, in my opinion, is anytime a quarterback or anytime a good player says that they want to leave, they start digging up or pulling out dirt on them, kind of like Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was fine in Houston until he made that comment that he would never play again in Houston, and that's when all the dirt came up on him. So they already knew about that dirt before he mentioned he wasn't gonna play again. But that's what I've been hearing about Lamar, that he stays up late and fall asleep in meetings.
The thing is, when there's dissension, when you allow anything like that keep in your locker room, rumors or whatever, it's going to cause dissension in some kind of way. Whether you believe it or not, that's where the coach comes in. If he loses the locker room, then the outside noise is going to play a big factor, right?
Exactly.
It is about the coach. Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you what would not have happened. Ray Lewis wouldn't allow none of this to happen.
Exactly.
Period. Okay. So what you're talking about is leadership, not just coaching.
Right.
But you're talking about leadership, and I think that's what they're lacking. This entire league is lacking leadership because you're dealing with a different generation out here of athletes. Okay, and they're not Ray Lewis type. They're not Dick Buckets type. They're not Joe Green type. We're talking about some soft-ass individuals that's playing that game today.
Mm-hmm.
And the coaches are buying into it because of the nonsense. We have weak coaches and we have weak leaders in the National Football League. That's what you're seeing.
And I'm gonna go one step further with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like go ahead, Curry. Go ahead, Curry.
No, this is Rich.
Oh,
I just wanted to say, except in San Francisco, our leadership is. I mean, I'm not saying it to be funny,
Yeah.
but Fred Warner is our clear defensive leader.
Yep.
He is the voice that they hear in the huddle.
Yep.
And Brock Purdy is the leader of that offense, along with Trent Williams.
And that goes like
There's clear leadership.
Even with the situation with Puka at the Rams, when he went out and said about the referees, he come about the referees. And it goes back to the game they played against, I think, San Francisco, where he took the ball, spun the ball, and he got taunted for that. And if you watch him, he does it all the time, right? And so I'm saying, why they call it then, and they haven't been calling it all this year. So did Puka say something? You know what I'm saying? Or what was the case? Because he always takes the ball and spins it, right? And so I watch him do that, and a lot of Rams fans like, was to stop doing it because they called it on you, but he's been doing it since he's been in the league. So my thing is, what made that referee throw that flag on that taunting penalty? And I'm gonna say this: I think the taunting is a little bit too much. I think if you stand over top of a person, that's disrespectful. But if you're going back and forth talking trash, that's what the game's all about. That's what made football football. That's what made football.
Well, that's the interpretation.
Jim Brown.
The interpretation is right. Is the officials. The officials control that field. Okay? Period. So it's not about the trash talk. It's about what those officials going to call or not going to call, because they control the field. Right? It's sad.
And it's
a sad situation that you don't have parity with the officiating on that in that league.
Yeah, you should let them trash talk each other.
Each crew called it differently.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you talk about my family or something like that, that's a whole different story. If you spit on me, that's a whole different story. But let them talk trash back and forth. Let them talk trash back and forth. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the game. That's always been part of the game. I was gonna say about Jim Brown. You looked at Jim Brown. If you go back and watch film of Jim Brown get hit by everybody on defense, and he may fall out of bounds on the other team's sideline. So somebody probably kicked him. He gets up so slow, right? Gets back in the huddle and stiff arm somebody and runs for a touchdown. But he just got up real slow, like, oh man, I'm really hurting. But he gets back out.
Never spiked the ball. He never spiked the ball.
Nope. He always get the ball back to the referee. And so, and I'm just saying though, I think that you should be allowed to do some trash talking. That's part of the game, man. Especially if you like it, that's part of the game. You should be able to trash talk in any sport. I'm sorry. You know, you just should be able to. But the situation with Puka talked about the referees, and so Stafford said he needs to be quiet because now he might not get the calls that he want to get because he spoke out against referees. Now he didn't lie, but he put them on blast, right? And how many other quarterbacks have talked about the referees and nothing happened to them? Joe Burrows. Look at your boy Aaron Rodgers talks about the referees, nothing happens to him. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's who you are and the treatment you get, and everybody should get treated the same way as anybody else on the football field. You know, so
but I have to compare with the last caller about 49ers. Their coaching staff and their players represent their coaching staff. That's what you see on that field because it would not be allowed to happen if the coaches did not say, okay. And I do like that. So 49ers,
and you look at it, they got rid of the semi-cancers on the team, which were Debo and Ayuk. They're both gone. You know what I'm saying? And they have, and the thing about it is, we all thought with them two leaving that they're going to skip a beat. Now the kid Parasol, I knew he was going to be decent, right? But they haven't skipped a beat. You know what I'm saying? So again, that says a lot for your coaching staff that you have everything under control, and it's all about leadership. It's all about leadership. You know, and maybe Baltimore doesn't have that. You know, nobody wants to be the leader. It should be Lamar Jackson should be the leader, even though he went and took all the game consoles out of the facility and said, "Yo, let's focus on football. Let's focus on football." And that's the way it should be. Why should you have them in?
Those are distractions.
Yeah, that's all they are. That's all they are. Distractions. You know, can you imagine when we heard about Kyler Murray playing, not looking at the game, not doing going to the playbook, but he using PlayStation to make plays on the field. Let's think about the linebacker for Carter, Abdul Carter with the Giants. They in film room and he's watching porn. There's got to be some leadership there to say, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" Nah, this is not what we're about.
Yeah.
We're all about winning football games. If you're not about winning football games, then you don't need to be on this team. Let's find somewhere else for this guy to go. You know?
Yeah, what are you doing here?
And again, you have these young nobody knows. If you've never been a coach before, it is hard to deal with generations and generations and generations. And I'm gonna say I know this. I know from coaching girls basketball, from the time I first started coaching basketball, I was around them girls so much I could say a couple cuss words to them. I could lay them out in the locker room. You know, I could tell them that they're not doing what they need to be doing. But the group of girls we have right now, I can't do that because they're soft. We have no dog on our team. You know, so we got to find a dog on our team, and we got to understand that when you put the uniform on, you're representing Harrisburg Cougars. You're not just representing yourself. And we're built on defense, and sometimes our defense is not there. But again, I go back to when I was coached, right? My coach, I remember we played this team. They had this guy that was he was probably like 6'11". We played this team. He told us they was undefeated, and we were down by 15 points at halftime. He came in the locker room, Jerome Johnson, if he's out there, please call in so you can verify what I'm saying. He came in the locker room and said, "Yo, the joke's on me." He said, "That team has not won a game." Now we end up winning the game, but see how mentally that gets to you? You know what I'm saying? So it has to be a mental thing to get you to that point where you're saying, "Yo, enough is enough. I'm not gonna take this no more. I'm not taking this laying down." And again, if you're getting paid to play the game of sports that you play, and these guys make a lot of money. They make a hell of a lot of money to play the game of football. If you can't give me 110%, then I find somebody else that can. Because what I tell the young kids today is 1 out of 1 million players get to the NFL. And it's like, well, what do you mean? And I broke it down to them. I showed it to them on paper. I'm like, do you know how many colleges out there? I said, then you got players overseas that plays football over there. I said, and then Africa's getting ready to get football. I said, these players don't come from everywhere to play sport. I said, and the thing about the ones that come from Africa, let's be honest, they might not know where their meal was coming. I said, so if they make $1 million, that's gonna take care of their family for the rest of their life because they're gonna make the sacrifices to do what needs to be done to stay on that football team. Where the ones in the United States, they may not want to do it because they lived the life of luxury from day one. Look, they take Johnny Manziel, for example.
Remember,
Go ahead, Coach Gray.
you remember when the Samoan players started coming into
Yes.
the league? A lot of Samoan players. I think
Junior
the
Seau.
first Samoan lineman played with Cincinnati. He was a big lineman.
Yes, yes. I know you're talking about.
Right.
I can see his face, but I can't think of his name.
Yeah, but if you take a look at how many Samoan players are represented in the National Football League, you don't even speak about it, but most of them are linemen because they have a lot of big athletes, right? So when you start making this a world sport from Africa and other parts, man, there's some big humans on this earth. And if you can cultivate that,
exactly,
it's a business, man.
Exactly.
It's like finding a diamond. It's like finding a diamond on some gold out there right now.
And we don't even we don't want to talk about basketball because basketball is more international.
We don't want to talk about basketball.
And baseball is basically, I mean, basketball is more I think basketball is more international than baseball is. And you look at Mutombo, what he did with the money that he went back to his country and built a school, built a water production so his community can have water all the time. Those are things they never had. So by playing in the NBA, they like, if this is the way I can get my country or my fellow citizens to live a better life, I'm going to do what needs to be done. Now, I'm gonna say this about Embiid. Embiid ate too many times Lions and Bears because he just can't get it right. He can't get right. He can't get right. You know what I'm saying? I feel sorry for him because he's a talented player. But we're like 7:15. So Coach Gray, I got the Dallas Cowboys schedule up for next year, right? And right now they play the NFC West. Arizona, San Francisco, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Bucks, Texans, Colts, Rams, Seattle, and the Ravens or the Steelers, depending on who wins the division, because because Dallas is second place.
So talking about two non-playoff teams right now that's playing. So their schedule's gonna be tough this year.
Yes.
Based off what you just read off.
Yes. Dolphin schedule. Let me get the Dolphin schedule real quick. Miami Dolphins. So where is their? Let's see there. They play the AFC North. So the AFC North would be in Dolphins are in what place the Dolphins in? AFC North. The Dolphins in third place, so they end up with probably playing. They would play the Cincinnati Bengals. If that's the way it works out. But they're playing the NFC North. So I got Denver, the Raiders, Kansas City, the Chargers, Chicago, Detroit, Bengals, Minnesota, Patriots, and whoever else. And then they play the NFC West, which is the third team would be the Rams. So that's a tough schedule for them as well. If the 49ers right now, at Kansas City, at the Chargers, at the Giants, Philadelphia, Washington, Denver, Las Vegas, they play the NFC North. So let's say it would be between the Bears again, or the Packers. And that's a home game for them. Then they play the NFC. They play the NFC South. NFC South, which would be Carolina or Bucks. Carolina, Bucks. or Panthers.
Yeah.
And then the AFC East.
Yeah.
AFC East would be third place would be the Cincinnati Bengals again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Miami.
Yeah,
I mean, that's San Francisco's schedule. That's not a bad
right. Good teams don't worry about.
Yeah,
scheduling.
they're not too worried
Right.
about that.
Don't worry about that.
So for who we got next? Pittsburgh. They have Jacksonville Saints, Houston Colts, Atlanta, Carolina. AFC West would be it would be Denver. That's a game at Pittsburgh. They had Tampa Bay. AFC East would be Buffalo. NFC East would be what's this again? It would be the Eagles or the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And if they win a division, I guarantee you that Cowboys and if the Cowboys and Pittsburgh play each other, that'll be Thanksgiving Day. I bet you that would be the Thanksgiving Day game. The Browns, they play the AFC South, right? I mean NFC South. So they got Houston, Colts, Falcons, Carolina, Raiders, Saints, Tampa, Titans, Jets, and Giants because they're in last place. That's what they would get. The Jets at Chicago, at Kansas City Chargers, at Denver Raiders, Green Bay, Minnesota, AFC North. AFC North would be the Browns. AFC North would be the Browns. NFC West would be the Cardinals. So if they draft well and do free agency wise, they could make some noise. I don't know. I don't know.
Those last two teams we talked about, they'll have to add some internal issues.
Cardinals, yeah, the Cardinals and the Browns. I don't know if San Francisco's gonna be the next year or not. Cardinals, I don't know about them either. For the Rams, we had Denver, got Dallas, Giants, Kansas City, Chargers. NFC North would be the Vikings. At the Eagles, Washington, and we play the Dolphins. Now, my question though is about this Eagle game. We didn't play the Eagles at home for the last 3 years. When did they come out this SoFi? So when did they come out to SoFi? I need to know why. I just need to know why they need to come out SoFi. So those are the schedules. If they do it like they've been doing it, where you played wherever you end up at, if you're in second place, you play second place team from other division. That's pretty much how it looks. The Cowboys schedule looks kind of rough.
It's daunting, yeah.
That looked like it could be like in the top 5 of strength of schedules in all actuality.
Well, it also can be a benchmark of how good they need to be in order to be in part of the conversation with these good teams. Now.
Exactly.
They're not in the conversation.
Exactly. So guys, listen to this though. I was doing my homework again. So Super Bowl this year is in Candlestick, or what's it called now, Rich? Not Candlestick. It's called something else.
Levi Stadium.
What's it called?
Oh yeah.
Levi Stadium. Okay. And then I think they go back to SoFi, and then they go to Atlanta. 28, 29, 30, 31. So these are the teams that could be fighting for the next Super Bowls coming around. I don't know if the NFL got enough steam to take the Super Bowl across the waters, but I think eventually it's going to be there. I don't know if we'll be around to see it, but I think it could happen. So 28 could be the Dallas
Can
Cowboys.
never happen.
Would you say?
It never happen.
I don't
We'll
know.
see.
I don't know, Coach Gray. Money
Never
travels. Money travels. You and I can't go watch the game because we can't afford it. But those that make that that big money can go. So 28 could be the Dallas Cowboys. 29 could be Detroit. 30 could be Cleveland, and 31 could be Chicago or Buffalo, depending on the stadiums that's getting built in Chicago and Buffalo. And from what I'm hearing, both stadiums will be dome stadiums. Now, the only issue is that weather is going to be crazy up there. So if you think about it, I don't know if Chicago's played overseas yet. So they might be playing a couple games overseas next year. And the way it works, though, when you host a Super Bowl, you got to give up a home game, right? So I was gonna say Jacksonville in there at all. So Jacksonville might be due for another Super Bowl. That might be before 2030. That might be Jacksonville, other than Cleveland, because of the weather that's in Jacksonville. So that's what's going on with the NFL as far as Super Bowls are concerned. But again, I think that there's a possibility that this Super Bowl could be played outside of the United States. If I'm the NFL, I'm thinking Mexico City, right? If you play games down there, why not have a Super Bowl down there? Is the crime that bad? Because if the crime was that bad, why would you send football teams down there to play football? So I don't know if I just don't know if that's if somebody would say, somebody has said that once before, because the crime is down there so bad. But if it's so bad, why are you sending football teams down there to play football if that's an issue? If you're putting people's life at stake, then don't go down there. Don't go down there. Don't go to Mexico City and play a game. So that's what's going on with the NFL. Also, guys, I read that for the Super Bowl, and I want to put a commercial out there for the Super Bowl. So I need all y'all to dig deep in your pockets and send me some money on Cash App, so I can promote In the Zone Sports Talk Radio throughout the world. But only thing I need from everybody is a total of $8 million. Can you help me?
What?
I need $8 million. Can you help me? The first the commercials for the NFL Super Bowl start at $8 million and up. That's a lot of money, ladies and gentlemen.
Got you. I'm gonna write you a check right now.
I need cash. I need cash. That's a lot of money.
My check is as good as cash.
That's a lot of money for a Super Bowl ad.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, remember before we used to watch Super Bowl and we think about how to add, we come back the next week and say, yo, what Super Bowl ad did you like? And they ain't been that great in the last couple of years. You know what I'm saying? We even got an issue about who's gonna do the halftime show because of who's in the office. I don't understand them either. But that's a different story for a different thing. But right now with the Super Bowl odds, we have the Rams plus 500, Seahawks are plus 600, the Broncos plus 900, and the 49ers plus 950. So I looked at this because I wanted to see where the Rams was because of them being 11-4, and they could end up being 13 and 13 and 4, and go on the road and play. So I want to see if the Rams fans complain about having a better record than the Eagles, the Chicago Bears, Carolina Panthers, or Buccaneers, that they got to go on the road and play. Because last year, Minnesota the Minnesota fans were upset because they had to come to the Rams because the Rams won the division, but they had a better record. So do you guys think that should change? Let me get your input on that. Lou, what's your thoughts on that?
If you have a better record, I still think you should have a home game because I said the AFC North of the years ago, they have terrible divisions, Muslim stuff, and they're gonna get a whole advantage because they won the division, even if a lousy record. Now, even if you're sure you win your division, but you got a lousy division to start with.
Okay.
You should go to the team with a better record.
Goes great. What's your thoughts?
Man, you guys opened up a whole can of worms.
Yeah, that's what we
That
do.
means you have to take all the divisions right completely out and go off the record, which it should be. It shouldn't matter where you are under that premise, right? But because with this game coming up this weekend between the Steelers and the Ravens,
Right.
one of them gonna be 9-10, or what 9-9.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
No, 10-7.
So, and one of them going to have a home field game possible because they are a division leader. Right?
Yeah.
Better records. If you earn it, if you're playing, let's go. That's just like having every kid in high school in the playoff, no matter what. Come on.
Okay. Okay. Curry, what's your thoughts on that? Curry, you out there? Curry? Curry. All right, let's go to Rich. Rich, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts?
I mean, if we're gonna scrap the division winner, I mean, just go by conference. You know, best conference records. You know,
Right.
and
I
keep
think
it simple. I mean,
okay.
that way we get rid of rewarding the division winners. But if we're gonna do it, we got to get rid of the division at the end of the day.
Right. So I think that at the end of the day, that the divisions, I mean, at the end of the year, divisions should count for when it comes to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seed.
It can.
I'm just saying I think that's where it should be. If they were to do that, then that makes it
That's what they do now.
Well, no. What I'm saying that when it comes to, so if you look at it right now, if you go by the conference, right now, okay, my computer ain't really slow today.
Then it'd be Seattle, San Francisco, LA, Chicago, Philadelphia, and then whoever, Carolina or Tampa Bay.
Right. And that if you go conference like that, then that's how it should. That would be
actually,
best. It would be
Green Bay.
Yeah, 9-6-1. They would be there. Because if you think about it, if you're the number 1 seed, you get that bye, right? So that gives you something to play for that 17th week. Because right now the Chargers sitting everybody because they know they can't move up or down, so they don't really care what happens, right? So if you go conference wise, you know, you got Denver and the Patriots down them two fighting for a win, and then you got you got Jacksonville who's 12-4. So would Jacksonville move up to a 2 seed if the Patriots or Denver loses? And then you got Pittsburgh who's a 4 seed. They wouldn't even be. Pittsburgh would be like the 9th seed, actually somewhere around there, because everybody, Houston, Chargers, Buffalo, and Colts are all, not the Colts, Buffalo, Chargers, and Texans all have a better record than them. So I don't know. They've been talking about this for a while. And there's been fans that's not happy with how the playoffs are set up. I think the best team should get the bye week.
Yep.
And with Denver and Seattle both, this is a good thing about it. Is Denver and Seattle both got to play if they want to keep the number 1 seed. So their games matter. The Patriot game matter, right? The Jacksonville games matter. All these games matter because it's all about seeding right now. And if you look at like it says, like Denver Broncos win tiebreaker over New England based on the best win percentage in common games. So if Denver loses, they still get the number 1 seed. Houston, Texas win tiebreaker over Buffalo and the Chargers based on head to head. So Texans will be the number 3 seed, right? Chargers wins the tiebreaker over Buffalo based on the best win percentage in common games. So Buffalo's now a four. They would be a 4th seed. The Colts are out of it, so it don't really matter. But if you go to the NFC, you got Chicago wins the tiebreaker over Philadelphia based on head-to-head win percentage. All right. And Minnesota, who's eliminated, that don't even really matter no more. But again, I think that makes it that much more exciting to have to play that week 17 game. Question for Curry, are you out there? No, mute.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. So what's your thoughts on should the NFL go with once the season's over with, should they go to conference for seedings, or do they still leave it as if you 8-8 or you 8-9 or you 10-7 and you play a team that's 12-4? Or 13-4, whatever the case may be. Do you think they should get the home field advantage?
Yeah, I do. I don't think that you should penalize a team because of their record. I mean, because you got teams that like Minnesota. What did they won? What 12 or 14 games last year? They didn't even win their division. So just on the flip side of that, just because I'm 8-9, the object of me is to win my division first. So if I get a home game, I'm not penalizing that division because the record.
Okay.
Because there's always some team, but I know what you're trying to say. Okay, if you do that, then you're going to kick the guy out the playoffs that possibly won his division because he could have a losing record. And if you got all the rest of the teams with the other 7 teams with a winning record, the guy who won his division, he's not even going to make the playoffs.
Well,
I leave it just like it is.
Well, I think if you won your division, you should be able to get into the playoffs. My computer's so slow today. I don't know why. I think that you still get in the playoffs. It's just that you don't get that number. You don't get a home game. I think that I think that you still get in, but you just don't get that home game because you won a division at 8 and whatever. Let me ask you guys a question though.
Mm-hmm.
Would y'all like to see the NFL mix it up and change the way the divisions are set up right now? Because if you think about it, they're all regional as far as teams playing each other.
Yes.
Would you like to see?
But they're going to have to. They're going to have to. They have 2 expansion teams coming in the league soon. So everything you're talking about now will be a mix-up. It's just not right now. Because, now is it this year they get an expansion? No,
it's not this year, but they said it's coming. They ain't say when, but I'm gonna say this.
It's coming.
I think they need to leave it alone. And definitely they're looking at San Antonio, and San Antonio's name's been coming up, and so what was it? San Antonio. Oh my God.
And for NBA?
NFL. It was San Antonio with the football team.
NFL. Right. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I can't think who it was, the other team.
Well, I tell you, the NFL is not ready for an expansion because they can't even keep quarterbacks healthy with the amount of teams they got now. They can't keep players healthy. I mean, you got players limping into the playoffs now. And what's it going to do when you try to get add 2 more teams, which that's going to be the minimum that you can add is 2. How are you going to keep quarterbacks healthy with that?
Well,
and all you're doing is watering down the league.
Well, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Should they? Because eventually they want to go to 20 games. So if they go to 20 games,
right.
should they up the number of players on the team? The team's at 53 right now. If you go to, let's say you go to 20 games, why can't you have 60 let's say 67 players on your team, because you're playing more games.
Yeah, you can have 58. You can have 58. You just can't dress for 54. So.
Well, I'm just saying though, if they go
53 or whatever,
if they're going to add more games, then allow them to add more players on the team, because at the end of the day, I think if you probably look at, and I don't know, I have to look this up, but I guarantee you, if you look at the players that have been most injured, it has probably been offensive linemen or defensive linemen, and because they're in the battles. Now you've had guys get injured just by it's like the situation with Micah, that was a freak accident. You know what I'm saying? Players get hurt like that. And they're even talking about changing the turf to something else. And to be honest with you, only thing that gives is grass. Grass is the only thing that gives. And you know they're not gonna go back to grass because that's too much, that costs too much for the upkeep. So they need to come up with something in between. Yes, sir.
Listen, again, I say the NFL's not ready for it. Because look at what happened in Indianapolis. The quarterback got hurt. They had to go get a man off the street that's been retired 5 years to come in there and play. So if you can't find a decent quarterback to fill in for your team without having to go that route, you're not ready for expansion.
But you do know why they went and got Phillip Rivers, right?
You don't tell me because he knew the offense.
He knew the offense.
Did they win a game? Did they win a game with him in there?
No, they didn't. But the thing about it is when you're trying to make the playoffs, you're gonna do whatever you gotta do to give yourself the best opportunity.
Yes, you could have got your guy off your practice squad to lose 2 games.
But the thing about it is you Richardson was hurt, and the other guy behind it was back. The other backup was hurt. You know what I'm saying? So who are you gonna bring in it? And so he knew the offense. So that's why they allowed him to come back and play. To me, I like him coming back to play because, and you could see it in his face that he was hurt by the losses because he was always a team player. Phillip Rivers, the only thing you get mad at Phillip Rivers about is he about to have a whole tribe of kids. He got like 20 kids. You know what I'm saying? So he said somebody gonna be a next. I'm gonna have another football player.
I'm just saying, if you got to go grab somebody that old and you don't have enough players to fill the rosters now, my point is you're just not ready for expansion. That's all I'm saying.
I totally agree with you on that because again, you don't have enough quarterbacks in the league right now. And if you extend this season out to 20 games, you got to add more players on your roster. You can't have 53-man rosters no more. You got to have more.
Is the gentleman name Rich?
Go ahead,
Rich, right?
Go ahead, Coach Gray.
The one speaking now is Rich.
No, that was Curry.
Okay, I agree with what Terry's saying. You gotta listen to what he's saying now. Y'all gotta listen to what he's saying. Look, Flacco was benched, and then the next week he was starting in Cincinnati. Look, this is a joke. You got more quarterbacks out there that can actually play than going to get a 44-year-old off the damn couch. Listen to what he's saying now. He could have got the backup. They could have went to Cleveland and got Shador if they wanted.
But I'm not disagreeing with you saying, but when you're in a position where you're trying to win, you're trying to get in the playoffs, and if Phillip Rivers gives you the best opportunity to win, then that's what you're gonna do. It would be the same thing if that like Cam Newton got mad because nobody called him. Cam Newton don't know the offense.
but again, how? You know, some players can't even touch the field by law unless they're there for a whole week for safety issues, right? It's a joke at the end of the day. It really is a joke at the end of the day. It's a business.
I like Phillip Rivers, and I'm glad he came back. I wish he could have won some games for him. I'll be honest with you. That's a story. That's a story.
44 to come back.
That's a story you could. I mean, that's almost like the Kurt Warner situation. He's bagging groceries next, and a month later he's starting quarterback for St. Louis Rams. So I love stories.
It's still a story.
I love stories like that.
It's still a story.
Yeah.
It's still a story, but it's not a heroic story.
No, no, not really. But again, if
This
you're
country, this country likes heroes, right?
mm-hmm.
This is not a well-written story for
No, no, it's not.
This
But
guy didn't get on his white horse. Today. This is a nightmare.
so if
And
he
they were trying to make the playoffs.
so if he'd have beat the Seahawks, would we be saying the same thing?
A different story. A different story.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I
But
disagree.
see, Kevin, I don't know that you can use Kurt Warner as a good comparison to.
No, I'm just
Kurt
talking
Warner was 28 years old
I'm
when
just-
he won a Super Bowl.
I'm just saying.
This guy's 16 years older, and this guy been out of the league 5 years.
But I'm just saying. I like good stories. I love good stories. I love.
But you got a good story in Pittsburgh with the guy that Aaron Rodgers. He's sitting over there, man. And that's another joke. Why you got to go get somebody like him? He's on the downside of his career, and you thinking you're going to bring him in there to win a Super Bowl? It ain't happening, man.
That's because Pittsburgh is desperate right now. The Pittsburgh Steelers fans are tired of talking about we got to win a season again. We got to win a season, and I get tired of talking to Pittsburgh Steelers fans about it. That's why I'm so adamant that I'm so mad that Murray didn't come on the show tonight.
It's like Bo said, you a hater, man.
I am a hater. I'm a Browns fan. This is I have 4 teams I cheer for every Sunday. I cheer for the Browns and the Rams. Anybody play Pittsburgh and anybody play Dallas, because Dallas kept the Rams out of so many Super Bowls. I'm just being real about it. I'm being real about it. The Dallas Cowboys and Minnesota Vikings kept the Rams out of so many Super Bowls. I do not like them at all. I don't like Dallas. I don't like Pittsburgh, and I'm not gonna shy away from it. And whenever I can get a dig in, I'm going to, especially when it comes to Pittsburgh and Mo, because Mo wants to bring it up every day. Every Monday he wants to bring up something about Pittsburgh, and he don't show up today. He gonna tell us. I'm telling you, we gonna tell. Oh, I was out house hunting today. Yeah, you wasn't out house hunting today. You trying to find another quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers because Aaron Rodgers ain't getting it done right now. Baltimore going.
He'll retire.
Baltimore's going after them. Like Baltimore's going after them.
It comes out from Baltimore has one last chance.
So
they should have been out of they should have been here.
Mm-hmm.
Now that they're here, you do not give a team like that a chance.
Hey, Coach Gray, they left him on life support.
Beep.
They should have pulled that. They should have pulled that plug, man.
Beep. I'm telling you right now.
I was at the live casino. I was at live casino down here yesterday. And you want to talk about everyone pulling for the Cleveland Browns. I mean, it was an absolute Cleveland party at the end of the game.
They did. Hey, I told the Ravens. I told my brother, he's a Ravens fan. I said, "Don't thank me. We did our dang job. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to win that game. That's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to win that game. If they can get their offense together, we'll be okay. Because the defense is tight. Defense is tight.
Defense is horrible. The defense is horrible.
So so right now, guys, we talking about MVP odds right now for the NFL. These are favorites to win MVP for the NFL. You got Matt Stafford at -230. You got Drake May at +200. You got Trevor Lawrence, Rich, at a +2,000, and you got C. Williams at +3,000. Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Bo Nix, and J.C. Smith, Najima, the only wide receiver right now, he's at a +5,000. You got Herbert, and you got McCarthy, and then so on and so on and so on. So those are the guys they got right now that's looking at the MVP race. I think, and see, this is why I'm mad at Sean McVay, because he's trying to make sure that Stafford got the MVP, because he get in the red zone, he started throwing the ball. Man, give it to Williams, let me get a score touchdown. Right? That's just like with the boy from Seattle, not giving it to Lynch in the game. Let him give him the touchdown, and let him get the MVP, so he can say, "I'm just here so I don't get fined." But you try to give it to Russell, and he throws the interception, and you lose the game. That's the only thing McVay, I didn't like what he did. I didn't like that at all because you could tell that's what he was pushing for him. Because I think Stafford has 5 interceptions. I think 2 or pick sixes. I think out the whole season. NFL Offensive Player of the Year award odds are. You got, believe it or not, you got where's it at? You got J. Smith Najima from Seattle at a -150. You got Puka at a +250. You got McCarthy at a +600. You got James Cook the third at a +1500. So that's a good group of guys to be around. You got Jonathan Taylor. You got Matt Stafford, Josh Allen. Got all those guys in that running right there. Defensive Player of the Year odds are what we got? Myles Garrett at -1000. W. Anderson Jr. at +8000. Nick Bodini a +1000. D. Hunter at a +1000. B. Barnes at a +1500. Jared Verse at a +2500 for defense. We're gonna do the coach, and we'll do defense next week because we'll do defense. I want to ask you guys a question. So on NFL coaches odds are Mike Grable, Kyle Shanahan, Mike McDonald, Ben Johnson, Leanne Cohen, Sean Payton are the leading candidates for coach of the year. Those are leading candidates. Those are group. That's a great group of guys. I say Kyle Shanahan because of all they missed, and they have an opportunity to win a division. Then I would go Mike McDaniels after that. Ben Johnson, Leon Cohen, they all Sean Payton, all these guys are
Hopefully
good.
you meant Mike McDonald.
All those guys, yeah, Mike McDonald. All these guys are worthy of winning that award. So I got a question for you guys. We got like 8 minutes. We got like 6 minutes left. Hunter down in Jacksonville. Next year going the season. Should he play both ways, or should they put him on defense or offense? Coach Gray, what's your thoughts on that?
It's not gonna matter. He's an athlete. Yeah, it's not gonna stop him one way or the other. That's in his contract. That's why they got him. He dictates to that, so it's not gonna matter.
Okay. Curry, what's your thoughts?
No, I think he should play one side of the ball or the other. I wouldn't try to play him on both sides of the ball. He's not in college anymore where he was playing those guys. Everybody in the pros are much faster, but I just run the more risk of him getting hurt.
Okay, Curry, what's your thought? I mean, Rich, what's your thoughts? Rich, you out there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. Yeah, I think he should play one or the other. I'm with Curry. Like, he's just going to get himself hurt. And to be honest, I think he's a better DB than wide receiver.
I would agree.
And they can use him much more effectively there.
Okay. Lou, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm agree with your last card. I think that there is one wide receiver.
Okay. Next thing. Brian Flores will be the head coach of what team next year? Coach Craig.
Oh my God. Cleveland.
Okay. Curry.
Cincinnati.
Rich.
I'm going to say they lose this Sunday, I'm gonna say Baltimore.
Ooh.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
Lou.
Yeah.
I answered the stab in the dark. I'm gonna go
Say it again.
Browns.
The Browns.
Browns.
Yes.
I'm going to say that's hard. I'm gonna say Tampa Bay Buccaneers because they lose. I think Bowles get fired.
Yeah, he's on hot seat. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. We got 3 minutes left. Basketball, real quick. LeBron. So people making a big thing about LeBron moving his body around. Practice. They say he practice golf swing while the national anthem's going on. I don't know if he does this all the time, but a lot of people had a problem with that. Me personally, I don't have a problem with that. I'm gonna say this right here: being in the military, if you don't want to stand for it, then sit down. That's all I'm saying. I don't have a problem with it. You know, he may have his reasons to do what he does, but it is what it is. Rich, JJ Redick have some problems with LeBron and Luka. This looked like it's gonna be a happy marriage. At the beginning of the season, you got what's the center from Portland? What's his name? I can't think of his name.
Oh, yeah, it's all goofy.
Yeah, he came out and said some things about the team, like he want to go talk to LeBron James. And now JJ Redick's on the hot seat. He could be on the hot seat, but this is who LeBron brought in. Now, what people need to understand is that whole front office has changed. Now, somebody else bought that team out, and they're not going for LeBron shenanigans.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, if the voters vote him into the All-Star game, I am totally done. I'm totally done with the NBA.
Why?
Because he don't deserve. He don't deserve to be in the NBA. If you're going for stats,
it's a popularity contest.
It is and it's not. And I'm gonna say this. And this is where
what it is.
I'm gonna go back and say this. I think that the players should draft. The players should pick the starters. Let the fans pick the bench. That's the way I'm. That's the way.
You know what I think?
Go ahead.
I think that people make too much of these All-Star games.
Well,
because they're fan experiences. That's something. Y'all trying to build this fantasy basketball team.
But the thing about it is, they use
and you want to see it play out. But they don't even play hard.
But they use the All-Star game as accolades to get them in the Hall of Fame. Because if you take Carmelo Anthony's career in the pros, I don't think he gets into the Hall of Fame. I think Carmelo Anthony.
Are you kidding?
College. I think his college gets him in there because he won a national championship. But I don't see.
So you don't think Melo?
I'm saying. Okay.
You don't think Melo deserves Hall of Fame?
Let me add. He has probably the most Olympic wins too, so that puts him in the Hall of Fame. I don't think his career.
I mean, he's probably the most prolific scorer of his era. I'm not a Melo fan.
I like Melo, but what I'm saying to you is this right here.
Melo's a bucket.
If you look at the way the game's supposed to be played, I mean, if you look at the way the game's supposed to be played, supposed to play offense, defense, right? We know right now nobody plays defense in the NBA until the last 2 minutes of the game. Every accolade that these guys get now is because they shoot more 3-pointers than Julius Erving, George McGinnis, George Iceman, Moses Malone, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, all the greats didn't shoot as many threes they shoot right now. So when they bring up an accolade about them passing somebody, it doesn't weigh that much to me now than it did back then because they got 3 points the hard way. Only thing they doing is coming out shooting threes.
Wait. Because Melo wasn't even a 3-point shooter like that. Like he was killing you from the mid-range and he was killing you around the basket.
Melo shot a lot of threes.
Like he shot threes, but he wasn't pulling from the gate. That wasn't the first thing. That wasn't the first thing he went to when he got into his bag. Like, I think you need to look that up. Because Melo was a goon with the basketball. I'm sitting here tripping. Oh man. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm my bad, Ken.
No, you good. You good. I'm just saying. For Melo to be, and see, and one thing I respect about Melo was Melo didn't go. He messed up and stayed in New York, right? Because that's where LeBron was supposed to go, and he didn't go because he had already signed a contract. So Melo is right now currently he's 34th in 3-point scores. These are the players that's in front of him: Stephen Curry, James Harden, Ray Allen, Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson, LeBron James, Reggie Miller, Kyle Korver, Paul George, Vince Carter, Jason Terry, Kevin Durant, Jamal Crawford, Kyle Lowry, Buddy Hield, Paul Pierce, Eric Gordon, C.J. McCollum, Jason Kidd, Dirk Nowitzki, Joe Johnson, Mike Conley, J.J. Redick, J.R. Smith, Tim Hardaway, Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, Wesley Matthews, Chauncey Billups, Kobe Bryant, Rasheed Lewis, Nicholas Batum, Petros Savakovic. That's a long time, and Carmelo Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 34 players. He's in the top 34. He's in the top 50. All right.
Okay.
Attempts. This is how many he attempted.
Yes.
He attempted. Where's it at?
He averaged 4 attempts per game over his career.
He attempted 4,588. Okay, four.
Yeah.
So that's more. That's less than. See who's in front of him. Ain't none in front of him because they're still playing right now. Actually.
He averaged 4 3-point attempts per game over his career. Steph Curry's averaging 10.
Oh, I might be wrong on this one. I might be wrong.
Kyrie Irving's averaging 7 or 8. Like
I could be wrong.
And he played almost 20 years.
Well, I'm not looking at Denver from 2000 to 2000. I'm looking at when he was with New York and when he went to Houston and Portland and
OKC and Houston. Yeah, I'm looking at his entire career.
Then he went to LA. He went to LA. And so those are the games. I'm not really looking at Denver because even with Denver, he made 3-point field goals made per game. He's at 1.3. He was at 1.3. So I'm looking at the latter part of his career.
Yeah.
So, but I like Melo, but I'm just saying I think that even the thing that got him in my personal opinion, is that the Olympics and the national championship game that he won in college, because it's not called the NBA Hall of Fame, it's called Basketball Hall of Fame. That's why I don't know. That's why I don't understand how Yao Ming is in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't even average 10 points. He couldn't even average 10 rebounds a game, and the dude was 7'2". So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that one. I'll never understand it, but
yeah. So that's pretty much. My
bad, Kev.
No, that's all right. Hey, I put it out there just to get a spark, right?
You got me fired up.
Oh no, that's cool. Because I like Melo, but I'm saying at the end of his career, I didn't like the way he played the game of basketball. And again, I think the Olympics and the national championship is what probably sealed the deal for him, because there was always question marks about him being a Hall of Fame, you know. So, so guys, we had 806.
I don't know how it's a question mark.
And this is the end of the show for 2025. I appreciate everybody that called in and hung out with me today. I really appreciate you. Mo, you know you got to answer me, bro. You didn't respond in the chat room or nothing. Nothing. Especially if Pittsburgh loses this weekend, we got to put out a missing person report on him. Curry, what you think?
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah, he's hurting right now, so maybe we need to kind of have a little empathy for him.
He can hurt all he wants to.
Is he down here? Is he located in Baltimore?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
I try to tell him, just like I told Lou back when Aaron Rodgers was up there with the Jets. I tried to tell him, man, he wouldn't listen to me, so now he's seeing it.
But again, how long he harassed me? He harassed me all season long about the Browns, and now he don't show up. All right, guys, man, I appreciate y'all. Coach Greg, appreciate you coming on. As always.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, guys. Pleasure, guys.
All right, and let's go here. Let's do this.
Thank you for listening to the Just Us Sports Talk Show. You have been entertained in the sports world by K. Dinks from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the small city with a large heart, Dana the Hater Clark from St. Petersburg, Florida, and Murray E. Baskerville from Gotta Be More Careful, Baltimore, Maryland. Remember, we throw stones and we do live in glass houses. Big time players make big time plays and big time games. Stay ready to be ready. You have been listening to an In the Zone Sports Talk Radio production. Remember, you can hear us again on star107fm.com on Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be sure to download the Try 99 TV app on any smart device and subscribe to In the Zone Sports Talk Television. The cost is $4.95. Thank you in advance for your support.